Elevate, gym life, meditate, please just regulate. Elevate, gym life, meditate, stay hydrated.
Did you remember the scene outside the window of your train? Distant hills or sky seem to move slowly or almost stay still. Trees, poles and buildings just outside the train appear to zoom past quickly. This is classic parallax motion, where the objects closer to the viewer appears to be moved faster than the object further away. Okay, have you noticed something amazing about creators like MagnatesMedia, Nitish Rajput, Shivanshu Agrawal and Sakleen Khan?
Mash couple steps and your vibe is attractive. CrossFit, treadmill, runner, dedication, never pass 100.
Their videos don't just tell stories, they pull you in. What's their secret? A powerful visual technique called 3D parallax effect.
We just grind, but they know about time.
It's that cinematic depth, that smooth motion that makes you keep watching one video after another. This effect is so popular that the YouTube is flooded with the tutorial. But here is the truth. Most people struggle to make it look like professional. Why? Because it's not just about adding layers and moving the camera. It's about mastering keyframing, the speed graph, and precise camera control using a null object. But don't worry my friend, I have got you covered. Hello everyone, my name is Naresh and at the end of this tutorial, you will be creating your very own stunning 3D parallax scene just like this.
World's first billionaire, with the exceptional ability to generate wealth. He was ruthless to the workers and built an empire with his monopoly over the oil business. This is the story of greed, power, and unfathomable wealth.
So buckle up, it's time to bring your edits to life. Let's dive. Alright, now you are going to create this scene. You can have these assets and project files from the link in the description. Select and import them. For the PSD file, retain layer sizes. Also all the video files. Run this script provided in the project file to sort all the assets in the folders. Click to organize and it's done. Let us create a new composition master 9020 by 1080, 24 fps and 30 seconds. Drag and drop this power station PSD file here. Rockefeller PNG file, these two factory PNGs. If you have this sky cloud video, place it at the bottom of the layer as it will go at the last in the scene. Convert all the layers to the 3D and arrange them in an order you want for the scene you want to create. Press F4 or click toggle switches mode if this option is not visible to you. The object closer to the camera will appear first and the object furthest from the camera will appear last when you animate the camera. Okay, so right click and add a new camera 50 mm and change f-stop to 1.2 for initial depth in the scene. Right click and add a null object, convert it to 3D, parent it with the camera. In this way, the camera will control by the null. It is super important when you have multiple layers and multiple camera movements in all directions. Let us switch to two views and start arranging layers in 3D space before you animate the camera. Okay, so this view is an active camera and this one here is the left view. This is the sky layer and this is the camera. Move your playhead to 6 seconds, select null and press P on the keyboard for the position. Drag the camera using Z axis of the null around here, which will be the ending position for initial camera movement. Add a keyframe by clicking this stopwatch icon. Move the playhead at the start. Drag sky to here, far back and scale it up by pressing S on the keyboard. Change the order of this character after the sky. Scale down this factory PNG image, this one also. Move up this power chimney. Alright, move this chimney towards the camera. Adjust the vertical position. Same way, adjust the size and position of these PNGs. You can take the liberty of arranging the layers however you like. You can duplicate using Command or Control plus D and place it like this. Same for the PNG file, scale it down. You can duplicate it and place it over here. Now select this sculpture and scale it using the left view and move it before the sky. Scale it up and adjust it. See how cool it is looking. So here is your sky and then these layers and then the camera. Let us add images of trees. Convert it to 3D, scale it down and bring it in the front close to the camera. Then there is another tree, convert it to 3D away from the camera and scale it down. Adjust it however you like in the scene. Duplicate it and shift on the side of the scene and front. Alright, so here will be your second position after the camera animation. So move at the beginning, select null and move the Z axis of the camera like this. Then use the Y axis, move it over the head. Okay, so you can see the camera will move like this. Select both the keyframes and press F9 to easy ease. Select the pen tool, click on the camera path, drag this handle and make this curve. So now it will have this nice path. Keep your playhead to the second frame. Move this keyframe around here and add another keyframe here without moving the playhead. Select both the keyframes and easy ease. Click the graph editor and make the curve look like this. You can also decrease the space between the keyframes and speed up the animation by holding the Option or Alt key while dragging these keyframes like this. Switch to one view. Now you will make these images darker. To do that, select and add effect known as levels. Here I am using this free plugin FX Console by Video Copilot to add the effect directly from the timeline. Alright, now increase the black and take the whites like this to make the image darker. Copy the effect, paste it to the other images and adjust if you want. To this character also. And just reduce the blacks just like this. Okay, now at the beginning, black screen, so scale the sky video to cover. Add levels, select blue and reduce the blue levels just like this. Now add this lightning green screen video behind the character. Convert it to 3D. Switch to two views. Move it here. It will start from here. Scale it up. Add the key light effect. Select the green screen and adjust the scale and position. Change the blending mode to overlay. Press F4 if this option is not available. Add levels effect and take the blacks out. Alright, adjust the position and move towards the camera. Trim this layer from here using the Option or Alt plus this bracket key. Now add this fire particles video here after this chimney layer. Convert it to 3D and move its position before power station chimney. Change the blending mode to screen. Now let us add the text to the scene. Switch to one view, select text tool, select font and write whatever text you want to add. I am writing this. Convert it to 3D. Click Command or Control plus Home to bring it in the center. Switch to two views, move it here and increase the scale. Add radial fast blur effect, change to brightest and increase the amount to 70 or so. Add deep glow, change exposure to 0.1, hold Option or Alt key and click this stopwatch to add expression, write posterize times 6 and wiggle 10 and 0.2. So it will have this flickering effect. Now here it should appear, so add the typewriter effect and adjust the position of the keyframe. So it will start after the initial animation. Press F9 for easy ease. Move the text layer here, select all the layers and change the color to blue. Let us review it. Nice. Okay, now let us add a second scene. At this point where the first scene ended, Duplicate the null, press U to reveal the keyframes, then delete all the keyframes, add a new keyframe here and move this keyframe over here. Only thereafter parent current null with the previous. Move your playhead to here and use this x-axis value to move the camera to the left side till the tree is completely out of view, just like this. You will use that tree for this transition between two scenes. Easy is the keyframes by selecting them and pressing F9. So this is how it moves. Perfect. Okay, adjust this tree. Fine. Now add all the files for the second scene below all the previous layers. Move your playhead here. Select all 3 layers you added. Convert it to 3D and press Command or Control plus Home on the keyboard. Switch to 2 views and take the background behind. Then this character in front, this gold stakes at the very front. See carefully. This is our tree layer and all others must be behind it to use it as an effective track matte. Adjust the scale and position as per the scene. Duplicate the gold stake and move it to the other side. Switch back to one view. See? This is how it looks. Alright, from here you can click and convert to Draft 3D to see all the layers and make sure this extended view is active. Now without selecting any layer, or you can press F2 to do that. Select the pen tool and draw this mask like this. Keep the fill to solid and stroke to none. Convert this shape layer to 3D, rename it as matte and press P for the position. Now this shape should be at the same position and depth to use it as track matte. Select the tree layer, press P for the position, select the position and copy it. Select matte, position and paste it here. So you can see it is here in the same plane in 3D space. Select the mask and expand the mask over this tree. Only selecting half of the tree for masking and track matte. Just like this. Do some minor corrections at the edges. Now select all these 3 layers and change the track. If this option is not visible, click on the toggle switches mode here or the F4 key. Select alpha matte and invert it. Now you can see 2 scenes separated by this tree. Perfect. Adjust the position of this gold stake and the other one too. Scale it and bring it forward. Scale the character a little bit. Let us put this gold here, just like this. You can adjust a few layers in the first scene later on. But first, let us give some glittering to your gold. Add curves on the gold layer and bring it down. Copy it and paste it to the other as well. Rename it, select both, duplicate it and place it on the top. Select the first one and add another effect known as extract. Isolate the layer and bring this value down. Then adjust like this. So only the highlights are visible. And add a deep glow or just glow. Adjust the extract effect and glow. Increase the exposure value. Add levels and adjust to increase the highlight just like this. You can also add the flickering effect to a deep glow if you want, using the expression. Keep holding Option or Alt key and click on the stopwatch icon. Write the expression posterize time 6, wiggle 10.2. Do the same for the other gold sticks. Shift the matte layer here. Okay, now you can adjust the chimney layer, scale it up, adjust this factory image and bring it down. Okay, done. Now duplicate the null with the playhead here and delete all the previous keyframes. So around here, add a new one. Move forward, parent with the previous null and then zoom using Z-axis. Move playhead and change the Y position like this. Alright, so if it's fast, you can duplicate null instead of adding the keyframes to the current null and animate the camera. Select all the keyframes and press F9 to easy ease. Let us review. So you can add a third scene here. This is fast, but you can slow it down by adding another null and then adding the camera movement just like you did it before. Now here in this transition, it appears like a cross section of the landscape. How to do that? You can do this in Photoshop very quickly. So you have these two images in Photoshop. One is this landscape and the other one is like this cross section of the land, like it is cut through. You are going to blend it. Okay, make sure both images are converted to raster. I already did. Adjust the scale, select both the images, go to edit and select auto blend layers. Select stack images, uncheck content aware fill and click OK. After adjusting the images and few trials, I got the result. Okay, here in your second scene, even you can change this animation path to a curve, just like you did in the previous part. This will give this smooth curved camera movement. Then drag these keyframes here. So it will start like this and then transition and zoom. Alright, now select this background layer and draw a mask over it like this. Go to mask, invert it and increase the mask feather. So edges will be blurred out, which will look cool between two scenes. You can adjust the feather amount later also. Move your playhead here and you can select and trim all the layers using the shortcut Option or Alt plus this bracket key. Select all the layers in scene 2 and change the color. Now add this green screen video having dollars falling. Drop it behind the character. Switch to two views. Convert it to 3D. Command or Control plus Home to center it. You want it to start from here, so move it. Adjust the position behind the character. Add the key light effect and take the green color away. Scale it down and duplicate it so you can place it before the character also. Just change the starting point so that they don't look similar. Alright, so this is how it will look. Great. For the next scene, create a new composition, scene 3, duration of 20 seconds. Let us bring this background here. Then these mountains, this man. Also add this sunset sky layer. Add a new camera 50mm with these initial settings. Okay, you have not converted layers to 3D. Let's do that. Add a new null object, convert it to 3D and parent it with the camera. Switch to two views. So this is your camera. Bring it here, away. Set the sky here, far back. These mountains here, scale it up. Adjust the position. Do the same for this mountain layer. Send this main background back just like this and scale it and bring it down. Then set the Z axis of this character same as the mountain as he is standing on that. Else it will appear floating and weird. Scale it down a little bit. Adding some industry PNG, convert it to 3D, scale it down and set it in the scene however you like. Make sure that Z axis matches the main background layer. Duplicate it and place it here. Add levels effect and make it darker. Add levels to the sky and make it less orange. So this is the initial view and then zoom in. Select null, press P for the position and add initial keyframe. Come to 3 seconds or so and move this camera towards the sky and background layers just like this using the Z axis. Also use the Y axis to move it upward like this. Select the keyframes and press F9. Select pen tool and apply it on the path to make that curve. Just like this. So perfect. Duplicate the null object using Command or Control plus D. Delete the previous keyframes and add a new keyframe at 5 seconds. Move to 7 seconds, parent null with the previous null and grab the camera and move it to the original position. Just like this. Easy is the keyframes using F9. Select the pen tool and make the path curvy like you did before. Alright, perfect. Select keyframes, go to graph editor and do this. By playing with the gap between keyframes, you can fast or slow down the animation. If any doubt, just check the project files for the reference. Alright, now add this fire video file here before the main background. convert it to 3D. Scale it down, move it backward, and match the Z-axis of the background layer. Change the blending mode to add. Add levels and increase the black. Adjust the position. Duplicate it and place it somewhere else. Isolate it and add a mask to remove the sharp edges. Invert and feather out. Change the position however you like. Add a new adjustment layer and add a colorama effect. Change the output cycle to fire and reduce the opacity to 50% or so. You can adjust the mask to remove these weird edges. I am deleting this one, duplicating this and placing it over here. It looks like a Xerox copy. To avoid that, just place one layer earlier or later in the timeline. Let us import the chimney smoke file into scene and arrange them properly. Put them here in front of the background layer. Convert it to 3D and scale it down. Change the blending mode to add. Always remember, while aligning such an object or a thing, their z-axis should align or it will float and look weird. Alright, so change the position here on the chimney and scale it down exactly the diameter of the chimney so you can see it perfectly fit and not floating. You have other such videos, so use them as demonstrated here. Don't forget this trick. Match the z-axis of the both layers. If the side edges of the video are visible, you can add levels and drag the black. Do the same for the other smoke layers. So it looks perfect now. Repeat for the rest of the chimneys. Now one important step. Go to composition settings, uncheck this lock aspect ratio and change the height value to 2000. Delete this adjustment layer. You can add it later. Add it again and the colorama effect and change the output fire and opacity to 50%. Okay, let us add the rectangle, change the fill to a linear gradient and create this rectangle box here. Click on this fill, select the first point, change the color to black, second also to black, select opacity, make it 0 and click OK. Now select this rectangle and change the gradient direction like this. Now put this layer here behind the mountain. So it will help to create more depth. Convert it to 3D, scale it up and bring it down like this. Switch to one view. So this layer adds some extra depth to the scene. Alright, now let us add text here. 3 seconds or so. Select text and font, whatever you like. Convert it to 3D and press Command or Control plus Home to center it. Switch to two views. Shift the text to here and move towards the camera. Adjust the position and size. Now let's animate it. Select text, click animate, select blur, go to animator 1, click add and select scale and opacity 1 by 1. Change the blur amount to 100, opacity 0, scale 150, click range select, add keyframe to offset, change value to -100, select advanced, shape to ramp up, switch random order on, ease low 50%, move your playhead few seconds, change offset to 100. Select both the keyframes, press F9 for easy ease. This is how it will animate. Select text and add deep glow effect, exposure 0.2, aspect ratio 1.2, option or alt and click stopwatch icon to add expression. Write posterize times 6, wiggle 10.2, so we'll have this flickering effect. Switch to one view. Now we can add this scene to the master composition. So let's add scene 3 to master. On the top. From here in the timeline it should begin. Convert it to 3D, switch to two views, Command or Control plus Home and move it using the Y-axis. Adjust the position. Let us play. Alright, so this is happening because they are at different levels in the Z-axis. So let us align it. Just like this. So this one and our this layer. Okay. Okay, so animation in the scene start earlier before the complete scene is shown on the screen. So go back to scene 3 comp, select all the keyframes and move them to 2 seconds. So it will start from here. This will solve our problem. It will animate after the transition between the scenes. Alright, so this is good. Select the keyframe and move the Y position like this. Then this point onwards, the animation of the scene 3. Trim this sky layer here. Alright, so just like you did it for the previous scene, draw a mask on this scene 3 comp and increase the feather after inverting it. Expand the mask if needed and adjust the previous mask you draw. This way it will look nice rather than two scenes side by side. Select scene 3, press S for the scale, adjust the scale. Also adjust the mask. Add scale keyframe here at this point, scale it down to fit the screen. Adjust this text animation starting point from scene 3, bring it down. Scale this shape layer. Shift the keyframes of the text animation here. Let us review it. Add chimney smoke to this scene shown in the previous chapter. Alright, finally the last scene. Create a new composition, final scene, 9020 by 1080, 24 fps and 10 seconds would be more than enough. Import the house PNG here and scale it up. Select the pen tool and mask out the door. Duplicate the layer, rename it upper as a door, bottom as a house. Select the bottom, select a mask and select subtract. Select the door, press Y on the keyboard to change the anchor point. Pick this anchor point and move it here. Now convert it to 3D. So if you see by the Y axis rotation, you can close and open the door. Add the keyframe to the Y rotation at the beginning and 12 frames make it close. Easy is the keyframes and edit the graphs. Recompose both the layers and call it house. Click OK. Convert it to 3D. Add a new camera with this initial settings. Move your playhead to 2 seconds. Press P for the position. Add a keyframe to position. Then playhead at the beginning and zoom it through the door. Just like this. Select both the keyframes. Press F9 for easy ease and change the graph from the graph editor like this. Add a keyframe to focus distance and aperture. Move at the beginning and change the aperture to 18 or 20. Switch to two views and apply focus to the house layer and move focus on it. Shift these keyframes to here with the position keyframe. Around here, the house is still in focus. Okay, let us first add text here, then apply the camera settings for the last keyframe. Choose the font and the text you want to add, convert it to 3D and make it in the center. Adjust the size and position. Add the typewriter effect. Press U to reveal the keyframes and adjust them however you like. Add deep glow and set exposure to 0.2. Add expression to exposure, posterize times 6 and wiggle 10.2. Switch to two views, move text towards the camera and change the focus distance for the text. Just like this. So the background house become blurred. You can also increase the aperture. That's it. Go to master at the final scene and move it in the timeline, just when the scene 3 ends. Let us preview it. Alright, now you will learn how to add these head and hand movements using the puppet pin tool. Isolate layer, select the pen tool and apply one pin here. And second here, you can see these 2 points separate the head from the neck. Now select star pin tool and apply it to the neck. This is how you will restrict the head movement beyond the neck, or else the whole body will move weirdly. Similarly, apply the star pin to the shoulders. Apply 2 puppet pins each to each hand, just like this. Alright, just after that, move your playhead forward and drag the puppet pin in one direction like someone is raising a hand, just like this. Do the same for the other hand and the head. Move your playhead forward. If the character is not visible, then you can activate Draft 3D. Bring the head and both hands to normal position. Press U to reveal all the keyframes. Select them all and press F9 for easy. Check the preview. If it is very fast, Spread out the keyframes. Select all and keep holding the Option or Alt key while dragging them. Alright, this looks great. Deactivate Draft 3D. It is very slow, so you can bring them closer. Go to Master, and now it is time to explore the camera options for depth and blur. Switch to two views while the playhead is at the beginning and add keyframes to focus distance and aperture. Change the initial focus distance on the sky and aperture around 20. Then around 2 seconds when this character is in the frame, change the focus on him. You should know which is which. Increase the aperture for the background blur. Then here focus on the text. Then this character in the second scene, now at the beginning of the transition. Just bring down the aperture. Then go to the scene for this camera property. Add keyframes to the focus distance and aperture. Switch on the two views. This is your background layer. Change the initial focus on that. And increase the aperture for this blur. Around here, set it to text. Go to the master and you have finished applying the depth of field for the camera. Now it's time to apply some tricks that separate the simple editing from the pro. Okay, go to scene 3 and copy and paste this coloroma effect that you used to here at master. Rename it. Trim it here. You don't need it for the second scene. Play with the opacity and set the value however you like. Alright, we forgot to trim this lightning layer, so trim it here and only keep this much part. Press Command or Control plus Shift plus Y to add a new adjustment layer. Rename it as Brightness Flicker. Add levels to it and up the exposure by dragging it down. Press T for opacity. Click stopwatch while pressing the Option or Alt key and write this expression posterize times 6, wiggle 50 and 30. Add a new adjustment layer. Rename it as Camera Shake. Add transform effect. Hold Option and Alt key and click position stopwatch to open the expression window. Write posterize times 6, wiggle 15, 3 or just 1 and 6, whichever you like, fast and slow respectively. Go to the layer, add a new solid layer, keep color 80, 80, 80 and add grain effect. Viewing to final output, preset Kodak Vision 200T, size 1.3, softness 1.2, animation speed 0.3. Also add tint effect and pre-compose it. Make sure to move all attribute into a new composition and name it grain. Add levels to it and play with the value to get a more crunchy look. Change the blending mode to overlay. Even you can play with the transparency if you don't like this much grain. Add a new adjustment layer, rename it posterize time, add posterize time effect and change the value to 12. Add a new adjustment layer, rename it vignette, select ellipse tool and double click to add mask, invert it. Increase the feather, add vignette effect, change the value to something like this and adjust the feather amount. Add a new solid of any color, rename it as fractal noise, add fractal noise effect, bump that contrast value and brightness as shown here. Also adjust complexity and scale. Go to the evolution option and hold Option or Alt key. Click random seed to add this expression. Posterize time 3, random 1000. Change the blending mode to add. Duplicate it and add invert effect and change the blending mode to multiply. So you have black and white fractal noise. Finally, you can also add light. Select a spotlight. Put it before the camera. Switch to two views and using the Z-axis, drag away from the scene while the playhead is at the start. Parent light to camera so it will follow camera movement. You can from the light settings increase or decrease the cone angle. Let us drag it further away. That is it. So if you switch off the light, again switch on. Cool, isn't it? Similarly, add a spotlight in the master and do the same. You can trim it here as we have it inside scene 3.
World's first billionaire. With the exceptional ability to generate wealth, he was ruthless to the workers and built an empire with his monopoly over the oil business. This is the story of greed, power, and unfathomable wealth.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave us like and subscribe our channel. See you in the next video really very soon. Bye bye.